That's why IBM has co-sponsored Working Out MBA Conference and participated in many other GLBT events on campus. It's also why we continue to work to build a safe and embracing environment for all of our employees at IBM, and why we formed the Eagle Diversity Network Group at IBM for GLBT employees to continue their development and networking with others throughout the IBM Corporation.
We just had our first Gay and Lesbian Leadership Conference in July. We had 90 employees from around the world, and we talked about things that they could do to help develop themselves, as well as things that IBM could do to make this a more comfortable place yet for them to work.
I came to IBM because I watched the behavior of IBMers at the Atlanta Olympic Games. I was with the Atlanta Committee for the Olympic Games very briefly to try to help fix stuff, and got the opportunity to work with IBMers. And in a very tough situation, everybody treated each other with respect. You've got a lot of talent to bring to IBM, and you've got a wonderful company, and I feel like we've got a wonderful company. But coming in as an outsider and having struggled through earlier other companies that weren't as enlightened, right now the opportunity we have is tremendous, and all I would say to you is don't see any obstacles.
We want to embrace all customers. If somebody has dollars and they would like to buy our products, we would be happy to sell them to them. I'm tremendously proud to work for IBM. We have a rich history of doing the right thing for all of our employees. We go far beyond any legal obligations and not only non-discrimination statements, but we also provide benefits that address the needs of specific employee populations. One milestone for our community was the addition of domestic partner benefits several years ago, and we recently reached another milestone by adding domestic partners, both gay and straight, to our relocation program. As a member of the Gay and Lesbian Task Force, we continually listen to both the employees and the marketplace to make sure that we stay in tune to their needs, both as an employer and as a provider of information technology and services. By meeting the needs of our customers and meeting the needs of our employees, we'll succeed in the marketplace.
One last comment. If you remember the stories I told about those advertisers, you know, those corporations who walked away from Laura Schlesinger, who walked away from her message of intolerance and exclusion? Well, those advertisers, those corporations, they walk in other people's footsteps. They walk in the footsteps of those companies who set the standard, who raise the bar, and who understand their commitment and their need to fulfill their commitment to social and public responsibility. Corporations like IBM. Ladies and gentlemen, accepting the GLAAD Fairness Award for IBM, Ms. Claudia Woody.
Well, as you're not our representative, as you might notice, I'm not Ted Childs. He's male, black, and straight, but and he wanted to be here to receive the award from another black fella, because the black community supporting the gay and lesbian community was a real important, powerful message he wanted to give, and it's okay for a lesbian to accept one from another lesbian, so that's what you'll have to. But I saw Ted this weekend in Vermont, and we happened to be up there for the civil union of our Vice President, Scotty Ginn, that you saw featured in the videotape. She and her longtime partner, Pat Tivnan, both IBMers, were united there in Vermont. And it was very powerful. And Ted was sitting beside me in the church, and he said, you know, everybody should be here. This is how it really should be. And I said, okay, Ted, tell me what you want me to say to these folks. And he said, Claudia, just give them my regrets that I can't be there, but this is the very right thing to do. Be sure to thank GLAAD. Be sure to congratulate the turnout folks for all of your wonderful work. So as IBMers, we really appreciate the opportunity to be here. I'd like to recognize my colleagues. We have 2 tables full of them. Would you please stand? We've got a lot of Atlanta executives. these high-powered folks do make a difference for all of us in IBM, not just in Atlanta, but around the world. These folks have global assignments. But in addition to being fairly portrayed in the media, which we really do appreciate your help and Turner's help in doing, we believe in IBM that it's really important for gays and lesbians to have a fair chance to progress, to be all that they can be, to develop as fully productive, high-level folks. And we really are going beyond the basics now. We've got non-discrimination policies, we've got domestic benefits, we've got relocation benefits, but what we want to do now is to develop our employees, to value everybody. And we're very proud that we have 11 out gay and lesbian executives in IBM. We're very proud of our first leadership conference you heard referred to, where we had 90 gay and lesbian leaders from around the world, 8 countries. But the important thing there is that, yes, these people had to be out to come, but the criteria for coming to this conference was they had to be high potential leaders. They had to be selected by their management because they were leaders of the company and they had a lot of potential to benefit IBM. And that kind of message, not just because it's politically correct, but because we have a lot to contribute, is the message that IBM is living every day. You've heard us talk about the gays and lesbians in the marketplace. That's a very important message. Our advertising is important to us. Our Shop IBM gay-specific site, we encourage you all to go there and buy. And we also have a full-time person in our procurement department who is looking to procure goods and services from the gay and lesbian constituency. So we really do walk the talk. We're very proud of our Eagle groups. We now have 13 active employee network groups in IBM. But we do these things not because of the marketplace, but because there are the right things to do. We do want to hire the best and brightest. We do want to develop the best and brightest, but it's also because it's the right thing to do. And IBM has a very proud history of hiring blacks and women and people with disabilities for a very, very long time. So we're very, very proud of our diversity throughout the company. And we thank you for the award. It says to us in IBM that we're beginning to do some of the right things. We're beginning to make the workplace a really good place for all of our employees. We're beginning to really understand and value our diverse marketplaces. And we believe it sends a message not only to our employees, but to a lot of our courageous leaders in the company and to our customers and hopefully to our future employees that IBM gets it and that we're going to continue working on it. We still have a ways to go. And what I'd like to leave you with today, in this Olympic year, in this Olympic city, and people who know me, I tend to fall back on sports metaphors, but I'd like to leave you with an Olympic metaphor on fairness. And I want to use the 100-meter track event for you to think about. Organizations like GLAAD and Turner and IBM have certainly helped your gay and lesbian teammates come out of the stands and get onto the track. And that's a real important first step. And you know, you've even helped us start at the starting line a lot of the times. Because in the past, we've started a 100-meter race 25 meters behind. And it didn't matter how good we were, or how fast we were, or how dedicated we were. We all knew that we weren't going to win. So you've gotten us to the starting line, but all of us, I ask you not to forget that we still have work to do to make sure that as we level that playing field, that your gay and lesbian teammates are not running the 100-meter hurdles when everybody else is just running the 100-meter dash. Thank you.
we're forging new ground, a lesbian with a sports metaphor. What? Please, talk to me about tiaras, then I'll understand. Once again, I want to thank all of you for being here and for making the first GLAAD Fairness Awards here in Atlanta a huge success. I have some special thanks to John Williams for his help and for being a friend to GLAAD today. We really appreciate you. A special personal thanks to Kevin Little, where's Kevin Little? Oh, he's over here. Kevin Little, who extended a hand of friendship to me when I first arrived in the city back in May, and I really appreciate that. And also to my husband of 5 years, Jeremy, who uprooted his life and came here without a job or without any definite future so that I could take up the mantle of work for GLAAD, and I really appreciate him for that. Also want to thank Jason Burlingame, who's GLAAD's Director of Special Events, and Lane Brooks, GLAAD's Special Events Manager, and the host committee and Gary Sals for really managing the details of today so that I could manage the day-to-day work of what GLAAD is trying to do in the Southeast, and they relieved me of those details, and I appreciate all of you for that. Also, I just wanted to mention that we're very happy that Out TV Atlanta is here. And if you're not familiar with them, they are available on Media One every Thursday night at 8:30, and they've filmed the entire thing today. And I think next week, at 8:30 on Media One, they will have a special about this. So I want each of you to know also that as my role here for GLAAD, I'm here as a resource for you and also as a friend. So if you would like to get involved with GLAAD, you can call me and I'll be happy to do that. But if you just want to call and say hello, I really would like that too. So again, thank you all and have a wonderful afternoon.